Hey guys, this is Scott with The Average Joe's Armory, the channel for The Average Joe, and today we're going to be taking a look at one of America's most popular over-under shotguns, the Browning Citori. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Browning Citori. I want to go into a little bit about the history, the different models and variations that they made over the years, and then I want to wrap up the video with my personal opinion on the Browning Citori. So with that being said, let's dive right on in. So to start our story, we go back to Mr. John Browning himself in the 1920s when he designed the B-25 superposed over-under shotgun. Now that shotgun was basically produced from 1927 all the way till 1976 in Belgium and was a very big success. So that brings us to the Browning Citori. In the early 1970s, the current president at the time, Mr. Harmon Williams, decided to change it up a little bit, and the company designed the Citori. Now, a lot of people wonder, well, what does the Citori mean? Does it have any kind of special meaning to that name? And the actual answer is no. He just was thinking one day, and the name popped into his head, and that name has stood the test of time for 51 years and over 2 million Citoris made, which is pretty impressive. So that brings us back to 1973 when they started producing the Browning Citori. Now, the superposed was such a success that they knew right off the bat, yep, we got to make this in the 12 gauge, 16 gauge, 20 gauge, 28 gauge, and the 410. We're going to have all the different barrels, ranging from 26 to 32 inches. We're going to offer different stocks, different grades of wood. We're going to offer different rib sizes, a bunch of different stuff, right? So right out of the gates, they were already doing a lot. Now, the only thing is that back then, they only had fixed barrels. So even though you had two barrels, you only had two different choke constrictions that you could choose from. Now, one thing that was nice is that you could choose which barrel shot first, but still you were limited to just two different chokes. Now that changed in the 80s. In the 80s, they came out with the Invector choke system, and by 1988, all the Citoris came standard with the interchangeable chokes. Now in the 1990s, specifically around 95, they came out with the Invector Plus system, and then it wasn't until like 2012 or so when they came out with the Invector DS, which is the, I guess, most recent choke system that Browning has, and that's actually what we have in front of us here today. So with that being said, we've got the skeet. Actually, this model itself came with the skeet choke, the improved cylinder choke, the modified choke, the improved modified choke, and then the full choke. And what's nice is that you can put those in the top or the bottom barrel, depending on your shooting style. Now, with this gun, they made a lot of different types of Citoris. So there's actually over 112 different models and variations out there, but some of the main ones that come to mind are the Hunter, the Sporter, the Lightning, the 425, the 525, the 625, and the 725, which is what we have in front of us here today, and it's the most, I guess, enhanced or the newest model that they have. Now, keep in mind, of those base models that I just mentioned, they do branch out into a bunch of different types like, trap, skeet, sporting, hunting, depending on the discipline that you're shooting. But those were some of the main ones. So that's really a little bit about the history. Another thing too is that I had mentioned that the superpose was made in Japan, or pardon me, Belgium. The Citori was actually all made in Japan. So they had a Moroku plant in Japan, and Browning basically had a partnership with them. So all these guns have been handcrafted in Japan, and they still are today. And a lot of detail, a lot of quality inspection and insurance goes into these to make sure that they are done right, and they've lasted for generations, and they will continue to last for generations to come. So definitely a very high quality gun. So with that being said, let's kind of get into the one that we have in front of us here today. This is a 2012 Browning Citori 725 Sporting. What's kind of nice is that it's a 2012, so it's pretty much a first-year production of this, which is kind of cool to have in front of us here today. This particular model is the one that I shoot, and it basically sports a 30-inch ported barrel. I personally like having the modified choke in the upper barrel and an improved cylinder in the lower barrel. A lot of the shooting that I do is sporting clays and 5-stand. So really the furthest out I'm going is maybe 40, 50 yards, and I like having that modified choke in the upper barrel just so I can get the best best sight picture and the best chance hitting that target. And for my improved cylinder in the lower, it's a little bit further away from that sight. It's a little bit wider constriction. Still gives me a really good chance at hitting that target. Also comes with a high vis front sight, and that comes with green and red. You can also buy some aftermarket ones for it, but that's what comes standard. Also has a mid bead on it, which is nice. And then also you've got a couple different stock options. Now, this stock here has the adjustable comb on it, so you can raise the comb up or down depending on your style. And you can also change the cast on it left or right depending on what is most comfortable for you. So it's very, very tailored to the shooter. Other things that make the 725 Sporting a little bit more unique is that it's got a low profile receiver, so that allows for you to get a better sight picture and a better field of view at your target. So that's great for not only sporting clays and things, but even if you were to use it for hunting and things of that sort. On top of that, I guess I just have to say my personal opinion is that it's a really nice gun. I mean, this one in front of me comes in at 8 pounds 1 ounce, which is perfect for me for a 12 gauge. The trigger is a mechanical trigger, and actually right out of the box it comes with some different trigger shoes that you can use, whichever is most comfortable for you. But the weight of the trigger comes in a little under 4 pounds, which is pretty light for a shotgun. So with that being said, an 8-pound shotgun, 12 gauge with a really light trigger, really well balanced in the hands, great for, like I said, sporting clays and 5-stand where you have to swing that barrel. The 30-inch is a really good size and fit for me. And then, that adjustable comb is very nice. Now, it does come with different grades of wood, different engraving. This one's pretty standard, but overall, it's a really, really nice fit. So with that being said, would I recommend it? Absolutely. There's a lot of different over-under shotguns out there. Browning, Beretta are some of the two that really come to mind. What I have to say about the Browning is that for me personally, it's just a really good fit. Whenever I pull that up and mount it, I get in the same position every time. It's very customizable and it's a very comfortable fit for me. So if you have the chance to get your hands on one, please, grab it, mount it, shoot it if you can, and it just might be your next over-under shotgun. So with that being said, this is Scott signing off with the Average Joe's Armory, the channel for the Average Joe. We're pretty much up to, almost at 1,000 subscribers, which we're really excited about. So if you do like the content, please help support us by liking, subscribing, and ringing that bell so you can get notifications of all of our future content. We would really appreciate that. We love getting our hands on the guns, we love doing the research, and we love sharing the video with you. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.